Hey guys, welcome back to the Interceptor. We are here with the second class of the top 10 list that we are making for September 2023. So let's just get right into it. I'll have if you look, the last video I posted, that should be the Mystic tier list because I'm doing it in order of the classes. And let's just get right into it. So what I did is I made a top 10. There's going to be a couple honorable mentions for each class. So for Cosmic, the first honorable mention I'm going to give is going to be Venom Pool. This is a champion I don't love personally, although I know some other people really like him. He's good. He is just missing a few things to be great. So he is our third honorable mention. Our second honorable mention, Venom. Very, very solid damage output out of Venom. You can get some crazy potent bleeds. You throw that heavy attack, which is actually a pretty strong armor break you inflict. And you can get bleeds with my rank 3 in Alliance Quest. I get bleeds that are upwards of 1200 per tick, which is 2400 per second per bleed, and I can get 5 to 10 bleeds at once. So he can hit hard. He is a very solid damage dealing champion, Venom. So last, and I was really unsure between this champion and the champion that's 10 on the list. Oh wait, no. I made a mistake. Venom was number 1. Sorry. I actually changed the list. Venom was number 1, and the other champion I had in number 1, I moved into the top 10. So sorry, that was the two honorable mentions, Venom and Venom Pool. And now we'll get into the top 10. This is a champ I do not have personally, and it's Gore. Now, on my alt account, I have him at rank 3, Sig 200, and he is great. One of the highest damage-dealing DOT champions in the game. He is just a very solid champion, and if you play him correctly, you pause his buffs so that you can get a lot of DOT on him. He's also the champion I just died to last 2 wars ago in Alliance War. So yeah, he's also a great defender, but of course that's not included in our list today. But Gore gets the number 10 spot. And then another champion I don't have, actually I think is, the only other champion on here I don't have, at number 9, Adam Warlock. Now, I've seen a lot of rank 5 Adam Warlocks. I've seen some good gameplay where he puts out some solid damage. I think he's just missing a few things to get a little higher on this list. But Adam Warlock, relatively new champion. And I should also mention that there are 4 champions on this list today that were not released when I made my last tier list, which was January of 2022, 20 months ago. Adam Warlock, Gore, Hulkling, and Gallon are those 4 champions. All 4 of them make the top 10. So this list has changed a lot since the last time I made my list. And Adam Warlock is your number 9 champion. And at number 8, one of my personal favorite champions to use, and a champion that as a 5-star on my alt account is still tearing up Act 8.2 and just doing an amazing job. One of the most sustainable champions in the game through insanely potent regen, King Groot. King Groot does solid damage if you get those armor breaks permanent on the defender and you throw that SP2, which also does massively increased damage against robots. He's a great robot killer. But yeah, King Groot, solid damage output, very large health pool, solid regen, just a great champion overall. And he also has some immunities to power control, which is really nice. And also, or that's actually it, I guess. We'll go into the next champion on the list. A champion that at one point was much higher on the list and probably was number 2 or 3 in this class. Corvus Glaive, still one of the fastest Alliance War champions. If you use an SP1 boost, You get that Proxima synergy, just, excuse me, for some extra coverage on evade and stuff like that, and auto block. And Corvus Glaive can tear it up in Alliance War, and if you don't Corvus Glaive proof your defense, he will ruin your defense, including bosses, in under a minute. So yeah, Corvus Glaive, amazing champion. One of the better options for Killmonger in Abyss of Legends, and I actually did get a solo on Killmonger with my Corvus Glaive, so very solid champion. And let's go into the next champion on this list, who was higher the last time I made this list as well, and who has gone down due to the addition of Hulkling and Gallon. Bumps this champion down a bit, but a champion that I feel is still super underappreciated in this game, who has just an amazing kit, very good damage output, and that's Angela. She can take hazard shift fights. What am I doing? Info. There we go. Ivor Sig 200. She is immune unless there is a node that increases the duration of DOT. She is immune to DOT with timed DOT with 3 buffs on her, which is very easy to get. You can get that within like a combo and a half or 2 combos. And with Odin buffs on her, she is completely immune right from the start of the fight. She also has regen that works based on damage taken, not health lost. And what that means is that when you have her with the Suicide Masteries, she is constantly losing health but gaining just as much back. But that health that you're losing gets stored up and counts towards the regen, despite the fact that you're not actually losing health. She just keeps regenning the whole fight, and it makes her very sustainable. She's one of the most suicide-friendly champions, and she is just absolutely incredible. So yeah, Angela goes into number 6, and we get into the number 5 spot, a champion I still love personally, and a champion that I feel is undervalued, although this champion was originally primarily defensive, and the fact that a lot of counters have come since this champion came out to this champion just make them not as effective on defense. But I still love using Hyperion on offense. I use him in Battlegrounds, and he can put out some great numbers. Chuck a couple heavies, throw an SP2, chain another heavy in from there, and you can kill a lot of defenders with a combo if you have like 6-7 Furies, which are very potent Furies, by the way. And also, when you throw the special 3 and you get your cosmic charges, you get a lot of extra damage from those as well. So, yeah, very, very solid champion. Very potent regen as well. I feel like people don't really talk about how good his regeneration is. It is very good. So yeah, Hyperion at number 5, and we get into number 4, a champion some people would probably have at number 2 or 3, but I really appreciate the champions in number 2 and 3 a lot more than this guy, and he doesn't quite get as much use as them, and that is Gallon. Gallon is a phenomenal champion who just has very solid, very, very solid damage output, and even as a rank 3 could probably do pretty well in Battlegrounds, but he's not really one of the rank 4s I'm going to rank that soon, especially because I just took CGR to rank 4 last week. But yeah, Gallon, amazing champion, and on other classes he would be higher. It's just that the top 3 in this class are so stacked. We go into number 3, and that is going to be our boy, my second newest rank 4 Cosmic Ghost Rider, one of the best battleground nukes, an amazing Alliance War attacker as well, who can take hazard shift pretty well. CGR is just incredible. He is a must-have in a lot of battleground decks. and he deserves his spot in the top 3. Just incredible damage output, and there's also some ways that you can play him to get even more out of him for longer fights. But we will get into number 2 now, which I'm pretty sure you know who it is because everyone knows who number 1 is. Number 2 is Hulkling. Just an absolute monster on offense and a pretty solid defender as well. Although I did not take that into account when I was making this tier list. Hulkling is incredible. And in the current meta I'm in for Battlegrounds, which is the Ebb and Flow knockdown one, all you have to do is get to 1.5 bars of power, throw a heavy attack, and then activate your unblockable and throw your SP2, chain your relic in from it, and you kill opponents. Like, you kill rank 4s or rank 5 defenders, and all you have to do is get to like a bar and a half of power, throw a heavy, throw a special, throw your relic, and then you're just doing insane damage. Hulkling is incredible, and also something really, really nice about Hulkling is that his attack is so high that he does not rely on crits whatsoever, and he doesn't even get that much of a bonus out of crits because he doesn't need it. If Hulkling never crit, ever, he would still be number 2. Like, I'm serious. If one of Hulkling's abilities is this champion cannot crit, he would be number 2 still. That's how incredible he is. He does so much damage, he does not even need the crits to be this good. Number 1, you all know who it is. By far the best Cosmic Champion. The best Alliance Quest champion in the game. One of the best Alliance War champions. Hercules. He's just insane. There's a reason he's at rank 5. One of the top incursions push champions as well. And he is very solid in act content as well. Hercules is just incredible, and I don't think anyone is going to be shocked that he is at number 1 in the Cosmic class. But yeah, Hercules is it for... Hercules rounds out the top 10, and I'm pretty happy with that list. I had a lot of debate on Cosmic. This one took me quite a while to fully decide where everyone was going to go. But I think that's a pretty good list. So please let me know in the comments what you think about my top 10. And if there's any champions I forgot. Like last time I had Red Goblin in the honorable mentions. He was just barely outside of the top 10. And I do think he's good. I just think that the new champions are better, basically, because 4 new champions came in and went into the top 10. But there's also some other champions that I did not say anything about, like Null, who I personally think is very overrated, and I don't think he's that great. But if there was another champion I'd have to include after this, it might be him. He might be next on the list. But yeah, that is all for this one. Like I said, comment your top 10, or just comment what you think about my top 10. And I will see you all in the next one.